What's up, yo? Hey, before I forget, which I always do, I'm gonna see if I could get y'all to like, subscribe, and give me like a thumbs up or a comment if I'm on this video. I know that's something I should do on all of them, but I just remembered it. So this story here took place in Tallahassee, Florida. I got a chance to open up for Benny Latimore. I know he's not a real well-known artist as far as well-known artists go in the United States, but in the R&B scene, everybody know who I'm talking about. But anyhow, I was working this club. I think it was Coconuts Comedy Club in Tallahassee, Florida, and just so happened a local guy that was promoting some smaller shows there in town was at the show, was at my comedy show, and he saw me do my thing, and he thought I was pretty funny. So after the show, he came up and he introduced himself, and he said that he promote some shows there at nightclubs in Tallahassee, and would I be interested in maybe open up for some of the artists that he would bring into town? And of course, I said, yeah, man, I'd love to do that. So um, he told me that he was going to be promoting some shows, and he would get back with me and let me know exactly what the dates of the shows and what artists he was planning on bringing to the area. So he did in a couple of weeks. He called me back and he said, well, he called me up and he said that he had a couple of shows that I might be interested in. He named some of the artists that was coming in town, and one of the people he named was Benny Latimore. And I was like, hey, that's a show I want to be on for sure, man. And he thought about it for a minute, and then he said, well, I don't know if Benny Latimore would be a good show for you to do because the crowd that he's going to draw and the location that I'm going to do the show. He said those people there are what he called pretty rough. He said they may be pretty hard, man. He said I don't know if that'd be a good show for you to do because you know they it's a pretty tough crowd. So I was like, no, man, I want to do that show. Now I wasn't really hearing him, man. He was trying to warn me not to do that show with that particular crowd. But what had happened was I had did a show a couple of months back. I had opened up for the Shot Lights. Now this was way past their heyday, man. They were not popular. They didn't have any hit records out, and the Shot Lights was going to be performing in Birmingham. There was a lady that I used to work with during my day job when I was working for Owens, Illinois. I was working at a plastic bottle company, and one of my coworkers knew the guy that owned the club, and he was looking for a comedian to open up for the Shot Lights. So she recommended me, and I went to the club and I did the show, and the show went well. But because it was a much different kind of audience, this was a more settled audience. They were, just a different type of people, different type of club, and it was a real easy show. They were all polite. They were, they had some energy. They gave up the laughter and the applause, and it went. The show went on without a hitch. So I based that on me doing another nightclub show there in Tallahassee for Benny Latimore. So I talked to Duda to let me do the show. I remember I had got fair warning that that might not been the crowd that I wanted to perform in front of. But he said, all right, man, if you think you can do it, all right. So he booked me into the show. And the day of I think it was a Saturday, the day of the show, Benny Latimore was there back in his dressing room. He took me back and introduced me to him, and I sat down and chatted with him a little bit. And like most artists, man, and Benny was a real nice dude, man. And a lot of the artists that I worked with was real nice, and they was real like regular. And once again, this was a nightclub in a black area. It was part of what they call a chitlin circuit. So I didn't have any idea what I was in store for. So I was waiting on the show to start, and the show was already probably a good 45 minutes late from starting. And I'm waiting around. So finally, I go talk to the promoter. I go, man, when we gonna get it popping, man? He was like, well, He said, I'm waiting on some more people to show up. He said, because I didn't sell any tickets. Everybody got to pay at the door. And I want to make sure I got enough money to pay, Benny. So we're going to wait. And because he said, if people come late, man, they not going to want to pay the full price. He said, people are notorious for showing up late and they only want to pay half price or just part of the price. He said, so I'm gonna try to wait as long as I can so I can get all the full price for the show. So I was like, cool. So finally, enough people showed up where they could start the show, and the promoter went up and he welcomed everybody, and he said that he was gonna bring Benny Latimore out, but before that, he was gonna bring a comedian out, and that was me. And them people didn't know who I was. They had already had waited, another hour and a half for the show to start, and the last thing they wanted to see was a damn comedian that they ain't never heard of. So they wasn't liking that at all, man. Right away, they rejected me coming up there saying anything to them. But dude brought me up anyhow, and I went up and I did a few jokes, crickets. I did a few more jokes, crickets. Man, finally the people just started looking at me like, man, if you don't hurry up, get your ass off the stage so Benny Latimore could come up. But I thought, hey, I stay up here and I win them over. I kept doing jokes. Finally, man, some people just started talking. They started ignoring me. So there was some ladies that got so pissed they just turned their back to the stage, man. They didn't want to hear shit I had to say. So after a couple more minutes, man, a couple more jokes, I finally got the message. So I finally gave up, man. I left the stage and got a promotion show, brought Benny Latimore up, and that's who they was there for. They was happy. And Benny went up there and tore it up, man. He did a very, very, very good show, man. In a small club and intimate setting like that, man, you could feel all the energy. You could just feel everything that Benny had to give him, man. And it turned out to be a real good night for Benny in the audience, but it was a horrible night for me. But I stuck around because I wanted to see Benny perform. So there was this one lady that came up to me and she kind of helped me get through the rest of the night, man, because she said, young man, she said, I really want to hear you do some comedy. He said, but those are people they ain't used to seeing comedians or having comedy in a room like this, and don't take it personal. It wasn't nothing personal, against you, but they just really wasn't interested in hearing no comedy, and they wanted to see the guy that they paid to see. So she said she hoped I didn't feel too bad about what had happened, and that made me feel a lot better. So I was like, yeah, I didn't really take it personal, but once again, the promoter warned me that that wasn't the crowd I probably wanted to perform in front of, and I didn't listen to him, and I got I kind of got I kind of got myself in a situation that I had no idea how to get out of, so I just bailed. But hey, that's all part of the game, man. You win some, you lose some. But for the most part, I had way more better shows than I ever had bad shows, and that was just another experience in life and in comedy. And sometimes if people tell you that something ain't for you, maybe you should listen to them. All right, man. Y'all take care. See you on the next Random Road Story. Take care.